What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel and to another news update for Star Wars Battlefront 2. We have some awesome news in the Battlefront world, and it's some news that I personally have been waiting for over a year now, and I'm really excited to be bringing it to you guys today. If you want to stay in the loop with more Star Wars gaming news, consider subscribing to the channel and getting notified so that you don't miss an upload. Now let's check out the news. As most of you know, Battlefront 2 just went free on the Epic Games Store, allowing PC gamers a chance to try out the Celebration Edition and all of the cosmetics in Battlefront 2 completely for free. What the players, and probably EA, did not expect though was just how popular this game still is 3 years later after launch. There were so many new players coming to Battlefront 2 via Origin because it's free on the Epic Games Store that it literally crashed the game, and they had to do an on-the-fly update to the servers to accommodate all the new players and make more room for them. On the official EA Help Twitter account, they put out this message. They said, "Seeing error message 623 or 918 in Battlefront 2? Sit tight, we're on it." An incredible number of players have joined us during our Epic Games Store free week, and we're scaling up new servers to welcome you all to the Battlefront. A couple of hours after that, they gave another update saying, "Hey Battlefront 2 players, got a quick update for you. We're still increasing capacity to allow more players in at this time, and want to thank everyone for your patience so far. We'll be sure to let you know once we have a further update." And just a couple of hours after that, they said, "We're happy to report the issue affecting Battlefront 2 server capacity has been resolved. Welcome to all of our new players." Battlefront 2 was so popular on the Epic Games Store that so many new players came in that it literally crashed the game. That is insane, especially for a game that's 3 years old. But is it really that surprising? Battlefront 2 is currently the only large-scale multiplayer Star Wars experience on the market. Well, other than Battlefront 2015, but if we're talking about modern updates to gaming, then yeah, Battlefront 2 is the only multiplayer experience that we currently have that is at that scale. Squadrons is multiplayer as well, but it is much smaller scale compared to Battlefront 2. Battlefront 2 is also the far more popular game, and this fresh surge of new players definitely proves that. When EA canceled the live service for Battlefront 2 back in March of 2020, players were left a little dumbstruck. We were wondering why they would cancel support for such a popular game, just as it seemed like it was getting back into the groove of things. As most of you know, Battlefront 2 had a pretty rough launch, with the controversy surrounding the loot boxes, the pay-to-win aspect that turned a lot of players off from it initially, and a number of other problems, such as the really weak progression system that was tied to the loot boxes. At launch, the game was not very good, but over the course of 2.5 years and over 20 free updates later, the game is now in a fantastic spot, and after the last update in March, the Scarif update, it felt like the game was finally where it should have been all along. Except, support got cut immediately after that, and left players high and dry wondering when we would see another Battlefront game. Today, we don't even know if Battlefront 3 is currently in development, but the new players coming to Battlefront 2 should be a clear indication to EA and DICE that this is a very successful and popular franchise, and if they were smart, they would definitely keep up with it. The news that they're updating the servers for Battlefront 2 is the news that I've been waiting for over a year to hear, as the game does suffer from performance issues from time to time, especially during peak hours when there are a lot of players online, and there simply is not enough space on the servers to accommodate smooth gameplay for everybody. Battlefront 2 players have been asking EA for a very long time now to upgrade the servers, and now that they actually had the justification to do it, this is fantastic news for all players. Now, I don't want to sound overly optimistic, but this could also be good news for the future of the Battlefront franchise under EA. Earlier this week, we got the news that Lucasfilm Games is essentially taking over the video games department when it comes to Star Wars, and EA's exclusive rights to make Star Wars games will not continue past 2023 like we all thought. In Lucasfilm Games' announcement, though, they did say that their partnership with EA will continue into the future, and EA does still have a couple of projects that they're working on. We actually go over these projects in the previous news update we uploaded, so if you missed that, check it out either in the description below, or you can click the bubble that's popping up in the top right. As far as we know, though, these new projects from EA do not include a Battlefront 3 or any new installment in the Battlefront franchise, as DICE, the development studio behind the Battlefront series, is currently all hands on deck with the latest installment of Battlefield, which is slated for a late 2021 release. And therein lies the kicker. With Battlefront 2 now free on Epic Games and EA seeing just how popular of a game this still is, this could be precedence for a Battlefront 3 in the future at DICE once development on Battlefield 6 is complete. It's not a given, but since the exclusive rights to EA's Star Wars license is ending, that eliminates any and all timelines that they would have had before, such as the end of the contract in 2023. This means that if DICE is available to work on it, Battlefront 3 could release in 2023, 2024, or some other time in the future. And if EA needed any more justification to make the next Battlefront installment, I think all of these new players coming to Battlefront 2 is reason enough. At the very least, it proves that this franchise is insanely popular and is far from dead, as a lot of haters will have you believe. Although hating on Battlefront 2 at this point seems a little bit weird to me, but there are still some people who are stuck in 2017. So what does this mean for the future of Battlefront 2 itself? While it does set a precedence for a new game sometime in the future, it does not necessarily mean that updates for Battlefront 2 will return, and the game will most likely not get updated anymore. Although with all of these new players, EA might change their tune on that. As we just mentioned, the team at DICE, who would be the ones working on Battlefront 2, are currently all hands on deck on Battlefield 6, and there simply are not enough developers or time to work on both games. But if resources are there, and if EA deems it a worthy investment, who knows, the resurgence of all these new players on PC might be enough to convince EA to make more content for Battlefront 2. It's not a given, but it doesn't hurt to remain a little bit optimistic, especially if you're a fan of this game and you've stuck with it since 2017. EA themselves came out and said that they're still committed to making more Star Wars games, even though the exclusive contract is coming to an end. So doubling down on their most popular franchise within the Star Wars IP seems like a pretty good way of honoring that commitment. Here at the Star Bazaar, we will be patiently waiting for more updates regarding a Battlefront 3, and even more news regarding Battlefront 2, if that's in the cards. So once again, consider subscribing to the channel and getting notified to stay in the loop with more Star Wars gaming news. But that's going to do it for this one. If you enjoyed today's video, give it a thumbs up. If not, give it a thumbs down. Either way, drop a comment below and let me know if you're one of the new players making their way onto the Battlefront for the very first time, and let me know what you think about it. That's going to do it from me. I appreciate you all stopping by the Star Bazaar, and I will see you all out in the next one. Peace.